welcome to the Front Office Podcast. My name is Marcus Cameron. I'll be your host. And as always, we have our co host, Sean Elwood, who will be joining the show this month very soon. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. We appreciate you supporting the show, supporting what we're doing. If you're new to the channel and you're just, visiting for the first time, please hit the click on the like and share button. If you like what we got going on. If not, leave a comment, let us know, give us some feedback. All right, let's get straight to it. Game 2 of the NBA Finals tonight. Denver versus the Miami Heat. Denver won the first game pretty handily. I thought they kind of controlled the game. Miami did make a few pushes and a few runs, but for the most part, I thought Denver was just a better team. Miami was a bit overwhelmed by what they were doing. Tonight was a different story. Tonight was a different story. I thought it was a huge win for Miami. It's not a lot of people paying attention to this, not particularly this podcast, but just the finals in particular. I just don't think it's super highly rated, but I think tonight helped. That was a big win for the Heat going in, stealing the game 2. Before you go back to Miami, you get 2 straight games there. That's a huge advantage, or could be an advantage, if you continue to play well. But let's break down the play a little bit. Before we do, as you know, if it's not independent, we're not wearing it on the show. So shout out to my guy, Clubs and Holes, as in HOLES. I met him on TikTok. He supports what I do. I support what he does. He sent me a shirt for free, sent me some golf balls. So big shout out to him. I'm kind of embarrassed the fact that I don't know his name. His TikTok name is Clubs and Holes. And he's also on my Back Nine Instagram page, too. If you want to follow him, check out some of his merch. Definitely big shout out to him. All right, back to business. So, didn't talk to Elwood today. He was a bit busy. I was a bit busy. Had a lot of stuff going on. Getting ready to go on vacation with the family. Super excited about that. And I just didn't get a chance to check with him, but I think he did tell me that he was expecting the Heat to get one in Denver because he has them as a gentleman's sweep. Me personally, I went with the Heat winning in 7 games. So this was a huge confidence builder for my pick, for me. Let's start with Denver. I thought Denver didn't play horrible. I think you're going to hear a lot in the morning first take, and Denver didn't do this and Denver didn't do that. I don't think it was a situation where they couldn't do what they wanted to do. I thought Miami forced their hand, and I thought Kevin Love starting was big, but we'll get to that as far as the Miami Heat once we get to that particular topic. Jokic was amazing. I think he had 41 points. I'm not sure how many rebounds, 5 big turnovers, and also only 4 assists. I'm going to reiterate it and say it again. You can live with him scoring 40, 50 points. Nobody's going to guard him. He's arguably the best player in the NBA. I think one of the guys said it on the pregame show. He's one of the toughest covers in the NBA one-on-one. He's impossible to beat, though, if you sit there and let him play point guard in the middle of that lane. No pressure or anything like that. And tonight he only had 4 assists. And I thought that was a huge credit to the Miami Heat defense. Denver didn't play bad. They had 48 paint points. Miami only had 34. 52% from the field, from the game. It's not a bad percentage. Didn't shoot it that well from the 3. I thought Michael Porter Jr. was a no-show. He completely was taken out of the game. I'm not sure what was going on, but he just couldn't find a rhythm. Jamal Murray had 18 and 10. I thought Jamal Murray got outplayed tonight by Gabe Vincent. Murray is a big-time player, and just like Jimmy has to have his imprint on the game and Bam has to have his imprint on the game, it's the same for the Nuggets. He had 18. He had 10 assists. I think he only had 1 turnover. He didn't play bad, but I just thought he didn't imprint and infect the game like he normally does. And that starts with Jokic not being able to find everybody, get everybody in rhythm. Only 4 assists. I thought he looked a little tired in the fourth quarter, to be honest with you. He looked a little gassed. And Mike Malone, I did get to see before I started recording this. I did get to see the coach's press conference, and he was pissed. He was talking about effort, and I think he's talking about on the defensive end. The first quarter, they gave up. I think Max Strus hit 4 threes. 3 of them were pretty much wide open. And you just didn't see that in game one. Even when he was shooting the ball, he got some open looks, but they weren't that clean. Tonight, I thought it was a lot of defensive breakdowns. And I thought also, too, like I said, Kevin Love starting was pretty big. I'm not saying that's the answer every game, but that's the fun of the chess match with the coaches. I was wondering why he didn't play in game one. And again, I still don't know. I haven't really dug into to see if he was just injured or if Spoelstra was just holding that ace in the bag. Because I think the goal in any series when you're going on the road to start off is to just try to get one. Of course, you want to win both games. But to win one against a team that hasn't lost in the playoffs all year in the finals, that's a big win. And I don't want to overblow it. I don't want to, get caught up in one win because a lot of people have this series going 4-1, 4-2. I just thought it was huge that they got the win in Denver with a chance to go back home tied up 1-1. Now, Denver's a pretty good road team, so they can bounce back and come back in game 3 and really blow the Heat out if they're on top of their game. But tonight, I thought it was more like a game of runs. Miami made their run at the beginning, which, it's the NBA. Everybody's going to make a run. So I figured Denver would come back. But to come back and then go up by 15, started getting a little worried. I'm going to be honest with you. I really started getting worried in regards to them being able to hold on to that lead. They're playing on the road. Denver has heavy hitters. Jamal Murray gets going. Jokic gets going. It's a problem. But they never really got going to the point to where they could overtake them. And even when Denver was swinging and made that and it was up 15, Miami didn't blink. They just kept fighting. They just kept coming down, getting good shots, running good offense, still playing hard on the defensive end. So I thought Denver's defense was worse tonight. They didn't protect the paint, even though they didn't get a lot of paint points, but they got Denver in foul trouble, I think maybe 9 minutes into the fourth quarter. They were really attacking that paint tonight, and the shooters, and they were able to do that because the shooters were knocking down shots. I think they're going to have to, in game 3, we're going to see Malone make some adjustments. And it might not be a roster adjustment. It's just maybe different rotations or paying attention to this because Kevin Love is starting now. Okay, maybe we approach the game this way. That was a great move by Spoelstra. You got to give him credit. This is one of the reasons why he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. It was a great coaching move. And Kevin Love had 6 points and 11 rebounds. He didn't have some, all NBA night, but those minutes makes a difference. The one thing that he does well is outlet the ball. And I thought that helped them get into offense a lot faster, being able to get the ball down the floor, see what you want. Denver's defense not being able to come down and set. So once you get that secondary break coming in, you might start walking into some wide open threes. But Denver, I didn't think they played badly, but I thought they were undisciplined on defense. I thought KCP hurt them tonight. I thought he was a real catalyst in game 1 and game 2. His aggression worked against him. I think he got 5 fouls early, maybe early fourth. He got his his 5th foul. Fouled some 3-point shooters. But you got to take the good with the bad. It wasn't that he played any differently in game 1. It's just Denver was the more aggressive team, and I thought tonight Miami was the more aggressive team. So the calls are going to go their way. And I thought, it was a few bad calls. Like the goaltending that they didn't call on Bam when Murray went down the lane, that's a bad call. Bad no call. I thought Jokic was shooting a 3 and they called a foul on Bam. Didn't touch him. That was a bad call. It's not a reason for the game to go either way. I don't think the refs affected that game that much. I thought Miami was just better, more aggressive, playing with force, and just they were the Miami that we've been seeing all playoffs long. And making shots made a big difference. Let's break down the Heat, though, because they did have some interesting numbers. I thought they had 3 less turnovers than Denver. They got out-rebounded. They didn't shoot a better percentage from the twos, but they did shoot a better percentage from the 3-point line, which I thought kept them in the game, and still find a way to win the game on the road. Gabe Vincent, 23 points. Gabe Vincent is having a finals. I think he had 16 or 18 in the first game. Led him in scoring tonight with 23. Bam was outstanding. He's having a great start to the finals. He had a double-double the first game, 21 and 9 tonight with 4 assists. Thought he played great defense on Jokic. I thought he made him really work. And the type of shots and where they were getting him in position, Jokic couldn't really just play off. He kind of had to play up. It didn't cause him, Bam, to get a lot of layups because Jokic is great with his feet. He knows how to move his body and get in front. But I thought those little jump hook shots, those little shots running across the lane, continuously moving, kind of starts wearing down. And, let's not forget he's still a big man. Not saying he's not in shape, but the more you work him, the more tired he's going to be. Jimmy Butler was, I thought, a little lukewarm tonight until the fourth quarter, honestly. I and I'm speaking good on him. Every time I speak good on him, he comes out and has one of those games. But tonight, 21 points, 9 assists. I thought he did a great job of getting his teammates involved tonight. I thought that was his imprint on the game. It wasn't necessarily scoring. He hit some big shots in the fourth quarter, but it was more of him being able to sit back and pick apart that Denver defense, make them work, make them move. He didn't force anything. I thought he was pretty good, lukewarm, but wasn't the Hemi buckets that we've been used to. He was more of the facilitator buckets. And I thought he did a good job of that tonight. I thought his defense on Murray was great. And a lot of people are going to say, wait, Murray had 18 points. But when you're a shooter or you're a point guard or you're a guard like that and you got somebody who's bigger, stronger on you and he can move with you, it becomes annoying. It becomes almost bothersome. And Murray's going to adjust. And Mike Malone, they got a great coaching staff over there. They'll make adjustments. But for tonight, the timely blitzing of Jokic, the timely zone here, man-to-man there, zone here, I thought it was better tonight. And I thought Kevin Love was a huge reason for that. In the first game, if you go back and look at some of the film, when he went zone on that backside, a lot of times it would be Duncan Robinson in the back. With Duncan Robinson in the back, he's not a terrible defender, but he's not a big guy. Jokic, I think he caught the ball at the free throw line, and Jeff Green cut right behind Duncan Robinson. None of that was going on tonight because you had faster guys on the end. They fronted the post, which I thought was huge. They did a great job of fronting the post tonight. It wasn't any playing behind Jokic. If you're going to throw it over me, fine. But as soon as he catches it, here comes 6'10" Kevin Love with his hands straight up in the air. So either you're going to have to shoot over me or make a pass or make a bad pass into one of the wings that are waiting. Jokic is going to make the right play. He just kept attacking. He ended up with 41 tonight. But like I said before, making him be a scorer and not getting everybody else involved and not moving that ball around is not a benefit to Denver. That's a benefit to Miami. And they're going to downplay it, and they're going to say, oh, well, he doesn't have to have a triple-double for him to win. No, he doesn't. But he does need to control that game. He does need to be able to control it from that area, or him and Jamal Murray's two-man game has to be consistent. They have to play just like Miami does. So this notion that Denver is just we should just go ahead and crown them the champs. I'm not with it. I haven't been with it. I haven't bet on Miami or said they're going to win any series except for the series against the Knicks. And I've been wrong every single time. I wasn't going to make that mistake with picking them to win. So I thought Miami played really great. Kyle Lowry, real big shots tonight. Hit some really big shots. He did some stuff off the ball, defensively, drawing fouls, being bothersome. Duncan Robinson was big tonight. I was impressed with his play. He only had 10 points, but they were all in the fourth quarter. All of them were in the fourth quarter. I mean, he couldn't really get a rhythm. If you watch in the first 3 quarters, he's getting fouls. They're running him off picks. He can't keep up. And in that fourth quarter, I mean, he was huge. I think 2 big 3-pointers, got a backdoor cut. He played big. And I thought the Heat, they played Heat basketball tonight. You had 5 guys in double digits. That's Heat culture. That's playing with your team, making sure everybody, is touching the ball, everybody's involved, everybody's doing their job. They would have had 6 guys. I mean, I think Kyle Lowry only had 9, and Kevin Love missed some wide open threes that probably would have got him up to about 12 points. So this is a real series. I'm not sure why people think Denver's just gonna run away with this. And they're good enough to go win 3 straight for sure, and Miami can't do anything about it. But it's something about this Miami team. I told you, they move and they act like they know something that nobody else knows. And tonight, I thought was proof of it. The Kevin Love move was a crucial chess move. It gave them more size. You don't have a little guy switching on to Aaron Gordon. Kevin Love's not the fastest guy in the world, but he can kind of go up and play pick and roll defense. And you didn't overextend his minutes. I think you played him like 25 minutes tonight. At this stage in his career, that's about perfect as long as he's being productive. 6 points and 11 rebounds is being extremely productive. And some pretty good defense. And he's being a threat on the three-point line, which means defenders have to rotate. And when defenders have to rotate, that allows Jimmy buckets, that allows Strus and Bam and people like that to kind of go in and attack the basket, which I've said before, Denver is not great at the basket defensively. They give up a lot of stuff in that position, and I saw it in the Lakers series. Whenever LeBron or AD wanted to get a bucket, that's where they're going. They're going down towards that basket. And I thought Miami did a great job of that tonight because of the way that they shot the ball. They shot the ball extremely well. Now, is the shooting going to keep up? I don't know. I mean, that's tough. But in my lifetime, I've been told a million times over that a team that just shoots jump shots won't win an NBA championship. Well, the Golden State Warriors have 4 of them. So that theory is out the window. Anything is possible in regards to sports and what you have going on. Like I said, in the NBA, I would say, just my guess, and I don't know the real numbers, 80% of the time, the better team's going to win. Just because it's a 4-game series. I mean, it's a 7-game series, and you have to win 4 games. If it was 1 game, you give a puncher's chance to the lesser value team. I don't think this Miami team is lesser valued. I think they're tough. They know who they are. Everybody's comfortable with that, and it can be a problem for anybody. I mean, clearly it's been a problem. They ran through the East. I think they beat the 1 seed and the 2 seed as the 8 seed, and they're missing pieces. They don't even have their whole pieces. And speaking of that, Tyler Hero's coming back in Game 3. Now, do I think that makes them win the series because they're getting Tyler Hero back? No. What I do understand is it gives Eric Spoelstra another piece on the chessboard, which is going to be key and super instrumental in trying to beat this juggernaut of an offensive team called the Denver Nuggets. You need all hands on deck, and they haven't had him since the first round. So getting him back is something that now Malone and his staff, along with what they saw tonight, have to adjust for. Because what if Spoelstra changes the lineup completely and just now Gabe Vincent is coming off the bench and he's not even starting anymore, which I don't think he would, but just using that as an example. That's not something that that's something that Denver has to work on that takes away from them preparing for this and this. So it's just another chess piece for the Heat to be able to utilize and maybe get another win. Game 3, I'm not going to give any predictions on until we get to that. I kind of like to, see how it plays out, see, watch a few news outlets. I like to watch the press conferences. I don't really do the sports shows too heavy since we started the podcast, just because I don't like to be influenced. There are a few podcasts that I really love watching when I get a chance to. Draymond Green has a great one. JJ Redick's podcast is great. I like Paul George. But I try my best not to get caught up in watching other people talk about sports because you can be influenced by it. So I really kind of just lean on Elwood and the people that I normally talk sports with and just try to stay away from it. So I'll give a prediction on game 3, but once we get all the information in regards to if there's any injuries, I don't think it was. If anything changes, if somebody gives out some bulletin board material, that's always a different vibe. But I think the Heat are in great position. And like I said, a lot of people are not going to take this win as a big deal. I do think it's a big deal. Denver has not lost at all at home this year in the playoffs. They dropped game 2 of the finals to the Miami Heat. And again, I know that Denver's roster is better than the Heat. And if that's the case, why are you dropping this game at home? You got to start giving the Heat credit. They were defensively super tough tonight. I thought mentally tough. Down 15 with that building going crazy, it was easy to pack it in. They didn't. They kept punching. It was little bit by little bit. They kept punching, kind of like they did in game 1, but they just got the job done tonight in game 2. And I think game 3 is going to be a little bit more exciting now because now something is on the line. It's a 1-1 series. So if you're Denver, the approach should be, well, we lost home court. We can easily get it back. We got a chance to get it back on Wednesday in game 3. If you're Miami, can we take this momentum and roll it into a lead maybe? 2-1. 2-1 doesn't mean the series is over with. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe the first year they played Golden State, when Kyrie got hurt and it was just Kevin Love and LeBron and Dellavedova, they were up 2-1 going back to Cleveland and end up losing that series. I think 4-2. So, but they, it's different teams, different scenarios, but it doesn't mean that it's over with. But I think it's a good omen for Miami. You get to go home, get a little home cooking, you get that home crowd. Thought the role players were great tonight. They definitely are going to be good at home. They're going to be good at home. So Denver's got a workload. They got a workload that they got to work through. They got to travel. Again, the game is not until Wednesday night. So, well, it's my normal time, which is about 1 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, that Denver team, that was the first time tonight I thought they looked like they couldn't beat a team. Not in 4 games. It's just at no point in time tonight, besides when they made that run and cut it down to, I think, 3 in the 4th, I still felt confident because now Jimmy, who hasn't been shooting the ball all game, is coming down and literally getting to whatever spot he wants to because everybody else is being effective. Because Duncan Robinson is knocking out threes. Because Bam's jump shot is falling. You got Strus on the other side. Gabe Vincent is having a big game. So you can't pay attention to Jimmy. It's really a very intelligent way to approach beating a team like that. It's almost like, well, weather the storm, and then do what you need to do. Excuse me, chronic cough. But yeah, I think that's a big win. That's a huge win for them. It's gonna make for a great series. I really hope we get 7 games. 7 games of this series is gonna be epic. It's gonna be way bigger than what people think. But like I said before, I'm a basketball junkie. I really enjoy just watching basketball and watching how people or coaching staffs adjust to each other, especially when you get to this level. It's the highest level. It's the finals. It's not some regular season game in February that nobody cares about. This is the game that everybody's watching. Every little play counts. Shout out to the guy Christian Braun from Denver. I thought he was big tonight. Even though Denver lost, I thought he played very well. He played extremely well. Not scared of the moment. Went to a big school, understands about pressure. I thought he was solid. Bruce Brown was solid. I just thought the Heat had more productive players tonight, and they were just the aggressor. KCP will bounce back and be better. I think Murray will be better in game 3 as well. But again, we still haven't seen a big Jimmy game. We haven't seen that 35, 36 points and 9 assists and 7 rebounds and 4 steals game from Jimmy Butler, and it's definitely coming. He's definitely going to give them one. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. That's all our time for tonight. I'm not going to hold you guys up. I just want to say, again, thank you to everybody who's been subscribing and giving feedback, liking the videos. Again, you can always comment, if it's anything else that you guys want us to cover. Elwood is, I think, Friday, closing on Friday, so he'll be joining the show very, very shortly. At least we're hoping before the end of the finals. If not, we still got a lot of things in store. And again, shout out to my guy with the shirt, Clubs and Holes. If it's not independent, we not rocking it. So we definitely appreciate you tuning into the Front Office Podcast. We will be back Wednesday with predictions and for Game 3, and then after the game, we'll do Game 3 breakdown and analysis. Peace.